Hey guys, Steve here for Who Took My Dice Miniature Wargaming with a very special Blast from the Past episode. This one actually came out of a really nice meeting I had with a colleague of mine. Turns out is a big D&D fan, runs campaigns, the whole shebang. We got to talking. He actually showed me this fishing tackle box he has filled with miniatures of all sorts from all different companies, Wizards of the Coast, Raul Partha, all over the place. All cool, just some are really old, TSR stuff. We got to talking, and we looked over his miniatures, and I'm like, wow, this is just a massive collection. It's absolutely beautiful. So we got to, like I said, we got to talking, and eventually it came up that I had a bunch of old TSR Dragonlance characters. I'm never going to paint them, never going to use them. So I decided, hey man, here, you can have these. I don't want them. They're just going to sit in my bits box forever. I think it was Caramon, Tika, Tanis, Gold Moon, Riverwind. I think that was his name. And so I said, here you go, have them, paint them up, you know, go to town. And he's like, hey, you know what, I have some miniatures as well. And eventually he gave me 5 of them. These old metal models from 1995. So wow, I'm like, wow, this is going back. And I actually had to look these up. I'm going to go table down a minute, so we're going to get a look at them. But the company I didn't even know of. So it's called Grenadier Models Inc. And they were established in 1972. I've got information here because this is a lot to remember. By Andrew Chernak and Ray Rubin. So these guys had done miniatures before. That started out historical American Revolutionary stuff. And that's where the company got its name from. One of the very first models they made was a Grenadier. And the name stuck. They had a magazine called Grenadier Bulletin at that time. They put out a few others based around fantasy stuff. And as the years progressed, they ended up getting into the fantasy and sci-fi stuff. In 1981 to 1982, they were actually labeled themselves as Your D&D Figure Company. And apparently they made a whole bunch of D&D stuff. A bunch of stuff for TSR. They did stuff for D&D and Gamma World from TSR. They also ventured into things for Star Trek. A whole bunch of stuff. The sci-fi and fantasy stuff as it overtook the historical. It was based in the UK, I believe. Ended up having also a shop in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I believe. I think I read that right. Yeah, so that went on for years. They hopped back and forth, did different things. Some models I have are from later runs in 95. Unfortunately, in 1996, they folded up. And over the years, different people have gotten their sculpts. You can actually find them now. I believe it is Mirliton SG. It's out of Italy, I believe. Has a ton of their old sculpts. So the company's not the company may be gone, but their sculpts are still out there. So if you can, look up Grenadier Miniatures Inc. Look up the Mirliton SG. So I'm gonna get to the models now. Sort of just a quick blast of the past. There's a ton of information there. Way too much to go through in one video. There's a lot there. Suffice to say, they were one of those companies that came up in the 70s, made it through the 80s, made it through the hysterics over Dungeons and Dragons that was prevalent in the 80s. That's a video for another time. Yeah, so I'm going to get to them now. I'm going to see some of the cool stuff. So I'm going to flip down now, and we're going to take a look at the 5 miniatures I got.
So here they are. So first off, you notice a bunch of them are orcs. And these are classic 90s orcs. These were fantastic. So you get this guy dressed up in nice orcified armor. I love it. It's one piece, one metal piece. Got those sort of goofy 90s orc faces. What obviously looks like to be a shootout of some sort. Obviously, wouldn't actually be called that, depending on what they wanted. Yeah, I love this guy's pretty cool. We have this gentleman right here. He's got a grenade in his hand, another shooter type thing in, very orky armor. Right? Very cool. It's a really, really nice sculpt, I should say. And this one's one of my favorites, because this one, It's more of an action pose. And he reminds me of the really old 2nd edition Black Axe Commandos. Now, nowadays, your Black Axe Commandos, they've got all the cool commando gear, the night vision goggles this guy does. But they still look orky. Back in the day, the commandos, they made them look like military. They had, like this guy, he's got the military garb on. He's got ranks on his arm there, right? Very, very cool. Oh, I dropped him. Very, very cool. But this is pure orky joy. Look at that face. He's having fun. Now these two, I actually found these on that Italian website. They're still around. These two, I'm not sure what game these belong to, but they're obviously supposed to be some sort of power armored warrior. They kind of look like Space Marines. They have obviously what's supposed to be something like a bolter there, right? And this one here has a flamethrower, little casing there, the holder for the fuel. That still looks very much like a flamethrower. What's cool about these two characters, though, and I'm really reaching here because I have no idea. I cannot find them on that website. These look like to be female troopers. It looks like it has a bust there, even by the way the body is formed, down to the shoes that look like high heels. I'm assuming that these are female power armored people. I'm not sure what faction or what gang belong to. Same with this one. You can just see by the feet there. Yeah, it was really cool getting these models. These are fantastic old models. I don't know if you can see it if I ain't close enough, but it says Grenadier 1995, a year before they disappeared. Very, very, very cool models. I'm really happy with these. I'm going to get these on bases and get them painted up some way, somehow. I'm not sure what color schemes, what I'm going to do with them yet, but they're fantastic. And I'm going to flip back up now and just kind of give a little review of what I think about stuff like this when it comes to people from different but similar hobbies. Start sharing. So there you go, guys. Those are the models my colleague gave to me. Like I was saying, I always love it when people in a similar, yet slightly different version of the hobby can get along and actually trade either stories like we've been doing or models in between. It's a great way to help both sides build. Everybody learns something. I didn't even know this company existed till I saw these models, and it was nice to go back and go, wow, that's another part of the history of the hobby I love, and I feel better for knowing it. I know about this other company. I know about some of the stuff they did, the parts they had to do within the building of this hobby as it's moved along, decade after decade, generation after generation. Because there's a lot of negativity. People go, oh, D&D sucks. Who plays D&D? You know, dice and paper, and then the other people, tabletop wargaming, like building armies, whatever. And there's a lot of negativity. It's great to see some positivity, even if it's just two people. It's a great way to respect what we do and to sort of help each other build on what we already have. So definitely do your own digging. Whether you want to know more about the Grenadier company here, if you want to know more about D&D or Warhammer 40,000, do your own digging, get into it, dive in, just see how deep and a rich history wargaming has, whether it's tabletop wargaming, when you do sci-fi, fantasy, historic, D&D, any sort of role-playing, dig into it. Find out all the good and the bad that's come out of it, all the cool stuff that's happened, unfortunate things like this company folding. Just dive in, get to love your hobby even more. I'm going to end it there. I think I've said my piece. As always, guys, if you like what you saw, please hit the like button. Share it with your friends. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I love having more people to share with. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell icon so you stay caught up on everything. And I will see you guys next video. As always, keep rolling those dice. See you later.